SMART goals it's an acronym. So S stands for specific, so making a specific goal. M stands for measurable. A is attainable, achievable. R is relevant. And T is time. Like timeliness, time, or whatever. So S, like specific, as in something specific. And it's not like something super vague of, oh, I want to be famous.
Yeah, that sounds like exactly what I'm...
Yeah, so like, for your case, oh, I want to be fit. Okay, so what do you want to do specifically to be fit? Like, what does it mean to be fit?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Depends on the goal. If your goal is like aesthetic, you want to have abs or something, like,
yeah,
set small goals, like to start eating healthier every day. Like,
yeah,
I mean, if you eat all day every day and all you eat is McDonald's, at least like try to replace one meal a day with a healthy meal, and then two, and then so on.
Yeah.
And then start like going to the gym once a week, twice a week, and 3 times a week.
Yeah. And then then there's measurable. So you made your specific goal, so is it measurable? How are you going to measure it?
It's easy to stay on task when you can measure.
Well, yeah. And then I also think about, as far as measuring your goal and your progress on it, to essentially journal. I'm all about journaling.
Yeah. That's why I like my Garmin watch, because it makes it so I don't have to write anything down, but I can see. Like,
you kind of track your progress.
I track my progress over time.
Right. So I guess journaling, and then whatever. You have your apps and everything that you can use. But then another thing, as far as measurable stuff, I feel like a hindrance to people achieving their goal is they kind of get really discouraged when there's a backstep or there's a misstep towards their goal. So they kind of feel discouraged and then essentially just give up. And I feel like it's a generational thing as far as giving up.
Yeah, they need constant gratification and they don't get it.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Set really small, easily obtainable goals, like taking 10 seconds off your run time or something. Like, especially if you're just starting, like that should be very easy.
Yeah.
And then it's like later on, it's like a few seconds. I've been running my 2-mile time like the exact same amount, and I took off like 8 seconds the last time I ran it, which is like, that's a small increase, but it's like,
well, that's also another thing, is like celebrate your small wins too.
Yeah, it's a small progress.
Yeah.
Small progressions.
And then also kind of reframing your idea of your backsteps or your failures and everything. Because I feel like our best lessons are the ones that we fail at.
Well, you just need to reevaluate them and just determine, well, I've learned that what I'm doing now isn't working.
Right.
So it's not a failure.
Adjust or pivot.
You're learning that you have to change your behavior to achieve your goal.
Yeah.
It's really not a back step. You look at it that way.
Yeah. Well, and then also, like, as far as making long-term goals, you should make long-term and short-term goals, where it's like, all right, to get fit, or I want to get abs, so this is my long-term goal, and then your short-term is...
The main issue that people have, like, because everybody, like, beginning of the year, like, most people are like, oh, I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to get in shape. And they just go to the gym and they start going to the gym, but they don't have any small goals.
Or
it's
wins.
Just, they want to go from the starting line to the finish line.
Yeah.
There's, like, they completely forget that there's, like, a whole, like, race, basically, in between that you've got to, like, go through before you get to the finish line.
Yeah.
And then it's like, after a few weeks or a month, they haven't gotten to the finish line. They're like, oh, well, I'm not getting anywhere. And they give up.
Yeah. Do you think, like, Because I think 80% of people's New Year's resolution is to get fit in the new year, whatever that means for them. So do you feel like it's a good idea for people to go and get club memberships, stuff like that? Because that's kind of debatable. I kind of feel like, at least for me, I always have the idea of like, oh, well, if I want to do this goal, then I'm going to pay up front for it. For instance, like, oh, I want to make YouTube videos and I want to make this a progressive hobby. And so I'll pay for things that I don't need. And then over time, I'm kind of like,
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Yeah. So do you think that people, when they're wanting to do goals such as that, they should just try it out first and then over time kind of get to that point of paying for gym memberships, paying for...
Yeah, I mean, they should develop not discipline, but the habit routine of like doing the thing, like it's going to the gym or working out. Like you don't necessarily have to go to the gym. You start small.
Yeah.
Just start doing a routine of like working out every week, a few times a week. And once you can stick to that, maybe go to the gym. For me, it's a hassle. It's an extra hassle to like have to go get in the car, drive to the gym, spend the extra time to drive there. Especially if you're like initially trying to get in shape, like specifically for that goal.
Yeah.
You don't need to go to the gym.
I mean, you could do things at home.
Like if you're not in shape, like I've stopped going to the gym. Like I do mainly calisthenics and like use a kettlebell and some adjustable dumbbells.
Yeah.
And some sandbags. Like you can get in like extremely good shape at home with very minimal equipment, and it's a lot more convenient.
But that would also be more accountability on your part.
Yeah, that's you kind of have to develop that accountability is the problem. That's most people's issues.
They can't be accountable.
Yeah, they're not accountable for their own behavior. They lack discipline. And when they don't see immediate results, they quit.
And I feel like people know and understand, like, okay, things like this isn't like an overnight success. I think it's like they understand and know it, but they still want that. And they still, again, like they don't want to work through the grit, work hard.
That's why nobody can accept the reality of like, when they ask me like, oh, how'd you get in shape? And it's like, it's discipline and consistency. Like,
yeah.
There's no supplement, there's no special routine. Like, yeah, certain workout routines can make a difference, but it really comes down to just getting your ass every day
and actually
moving
doing something.
and doing.
I mean, in terms
like
of
doing something uncomfortable every day, pretty much.
I mean, it's easy to talk about like fitness goals and everything because that's basically one of those things that everybody aspires to be, is healthy. But I think a good way of progress is kind of setting aside some time of your day to practice or do something towards your goal.
Something beneficial, whether it's reading or working out, or studying, or working on like a business idea or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, that's actually a good idea because I did hear that a long time ago in a mall call where they said, you know, if you have a busy life, a busy agenda, sometimes you have to make time for things like
you gotta pre-plan, like make a meeting for yourself to like take time,
right?
Whether it's an hour to like meditate or like whatever, but it's an hour for you,
right? And it's an hour to do whatever you need to do to get to your goal.
And that's not like watching Netflix.
No,
doing something productive,
right? And I think it is easy. That's one of the issues with obtaining goals is complacency is so easy, and just everybody wants to be comfortable. Nobody really wants to do things that will provide them discomfort. But if you reframe it, the discomfort kind of helps with achieving your goals. And it's also like this one thing, like the Charlie Day commencement speech, I always reference it, where, you know, if you don't have any failures, if you don't have any struggles while you're attaining your goal, then by the time you attain your goal, then it's essentially meaningless. You were just given it.
I mean, that's like, if it's always easy, then it's like, that's like worth like my military career that I hadn't really just starting again, basically. Like, I wouldn't be content just like doing structures for 20 years. Again,
right.
Because that's easy. Like, it's too easy. It's boring. I mean, some people are content with just doing the easy thing, but like, how do you look back on that and then like feel like you accomplished something? Yeah, you kind of went through the motions and you just kind of existed. I mean, some people are fine with it.
Some people are fine with just existing.
That's fine if that's like what floats your boat. But I mean, if you're somebody who wants to do more, you want to be able to look back and like really be proud of like what you did. It's kind of hard when like my job would have just been like, if I was active duty, just sitting on base doing maintenance, or like when I was deployed, it's just sitting on base doing maintenance, like supporting a mission. Like, it's not something I'd be content doing for my entire life.
But I also feel like it just depends on what you want out of life, because you could reframe it as a, you know, I did base infrastructure and all that stuff, but then this helped do this. Oh, I helped build that hospital. I did this and that. And I guess it just depends on what you want. But for you, I know that you know that there are bigger, better things out for you. Like I feel like you are more of like a helper kind of person. Like I mean, at least for me, I don't feel useful if I'm not helping out other people, which is why my two careers are
actively doing something, like directly doing something.
Right, but for you, I feel like it's kind of the same thing of, you know, structures or doing your business on the side was really helping people out, but it's not in the capacity that you wanted.
It's not like,
because
it's not like I'm directly helping. It's more like I'm setting things up so that other people can actually do the real work.
Right. And then, quite honestly speaking, like, the end result was probably not what you desired, because I feel like it was really just based off of aesthetics. Of like, oh, you made my kitchen look nice, or oh, you made my bathroom look nice.
And it's like, oh, I gave you your pretty bathroom or kitchen or whatever you wanted. And it's like, it was somewhat rewarding the first few years or so. It was like, oh, I made the customer happy and like, did a good job for them and whatnot. But it's like,
but then
at the end of the day, it's like, what is this even movie for? Like, I'm like, I feel like there's just a lot of potential wasted. Like, why am I? That's why I basically stopped working out for years. Like, I was like, what's the point of maintaining like a high level of fitness and readiness? Like, ready for what? Like, if I'm not in the military anymore, like, there's not even a small chance I'm going to be going to war or anything. So it's like, what the fuck's the point?
Yeah.
Okay, you can wait. You're not holding that out the window right now.
Yeah. So kind of detracted from talking about goals, but
I don't know. I was thinking about when you were talking about it. I was thinking about like there's like the goals thing. Like there's like some individuals in like my current basic, and they'll be like, oh, I don't care if we get smoked because like I want to get in shape. And it's like that's their goal, is to get in shape, and it seems like they joined the military for that reason. But it's like, I try to explain to them, like, okay, well, you need somebody to constantly force you to work out. Like, that's not, like, you're gonna have formations in the morning, you're gonna have to work out, but it's like, the way workouts are structured, it's kind of like at your own pace, essentially. So, I mean, joining the military is not gonna get you in shape.
I think that's the thing.
The regular army is not gonna get you in shape.
I do not like it when trainees come to basic training and they're like, well, I joined to be fit, but they didn't do anything. And it's like, you know, you have 7 weeks to get fit, and you'll probably get the fittest of your life here. But after that, it's all on you.
That's what the point I'm trying to get to them. Like, it's like, okay, even if you get really fit here in basic, like, you're after that.
Yeah.
Like, oh wow, you got in shape in basic training after like 2.5 months, and then as soon as that's over, now you're back to being out of shape because you need somebody
to tell you,
to force you to work out. Like,
I mean, and then I kind of joke with the trainees, but I'm serious, is by the time you're gonna be all fit and everything, but then once you get the luxury of going to McDonald's, to Burger King, Taco Bell, because it's accessible to you, you're gonna get fat.
Yeah, I mean, if you have no discipline and no self-control,
yeah,
those are the things you should be focusing on here. The things they're trying to teach you, which is discipline, self-control,
and all that
those
stuff.
things.
Yeah.
But you want to ignore that and be because then you're like, oh well, they're just gonna push my and make me work out.
But you shouldn't
smoke me, so I'll get in shape.
But it's just like with goals. Like, you shouldn't be relying on people to get you towards your goal. Like, you need to have some self-accountability that you're going to do it. So you being like, oh, I don't care if the drill sergeants smoke me because I need to work out anyway. So then what are you doing in between? Are you actually doing your push-ups or whatever? You're just sitting there and just, okay.
Yeah, the one that I'm thinking of that said that, he doesn't really do any working out.
So he just waits until you guys do PT.
Yeah.
And you wait, okay. So then you really lack accountability.
Yeah.
So I guess, like, one of the biggest things as far as, like, goals go is you need to really assess your accountability. And how are you going to be accountable?
Instead of working on the real issue, which is personal accountability, they join and think that somebody is going to become accountable for them.
Right.
It's not how it works. Like, yeah, like in the very beginning, that's going to be kind of how it is because you're new and they know, like, you need somebody to hold your hand, but, like, that's not the point of, like, you being here. Like, you need to be accountable for yourself so that you can do your job and you can be an asset to the military, not a liability.
Should you tell people of your goals or should you hold it in?
You should probably not tell people.
I mean, I feel like...
I think I read something about some statistic where it's like more the people who, like, tell people about their goals generally don't accomplish them, as opposed to people who kind of are less forthcoming about, like, what their goals are. Cause I think it's more of a psychological thing where, like, people who want to, like, tell everybody about their goals, it's normally they just want to be looked at like, oh, look at you, I'm special because I'm trying to become a doctor. But it's like, it's not really that you are dedicated to that goal. It's more that you want attention for that goal.
Yeah. And I feel, because sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But then at the end of the day, I feel like all of this is just more of, like, reliance on social media.
Yeah, I feel like if you need to tell somebody about your goals, but if all you're doing is, like, going around and plastering it all over your Facebook and, like, you tell people unsolicited, like, oh, this is what I'm doing or I'm trying to do, like, it's like, it does seem like those people, one that I'm thinking of in particular, that's like,
I know,
always moving from one goal to the next goal.
But then again, like, at the end of the day, though, it's kind of like goes back to accountability, where it's just like, it's fleeting stuff.
Yeah.
You wanted X, Y, and Z because it gave you that attention and stuff, but
never stuck with any goal.
Yeah.
Enough. You never had the
discipline
and consistency to get where you want to be.
Yeah, it is what it is.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, people don't like that answer when they ask me questions about like how I've gotten in shape. And stuff. They want the magic pill. They want me to tell them that there's some like special supplement.
Yeah.
And that's why like the supplement industry is such a joke, and people just like buy into it so hard.
Yeah.
Even though it's like if you look up like the data on like what supplements actually work, there's like 4 like creatine,
that actually work.
And then like there's like a few like caffeine has been shown to like increase like endurance and strength.
But the caffeine is abused.
But like there's very few supplements that actually have any evidence that show they like really work outside of like having unless your like diet is like really bad.
Yeah.
Like if you don't get enough protein from your diet, having a protein supplement can help. But it's like really, if you just have a good diet, you don't need any of these supplements, and they're really not helping you. They're just a waste of money.
Yeah.
And if anything, potentially a health risk.
Yeah. I feel like it's probably not best to tell people your goal, like be super out or open about your goals and stuff.
You should be open about it, but it's not. You don't need to like
tell everyone.
Tell everybody.
That's what I mean.
Like when there's no reason.
I feel like not everybody needs to know your goal, and I feel that sometimes it's kind of the same thing with like with Facebook. Not everyone that is on your social media are your friends. So I accidentally turned it off. I think I accidentally like stopped recording on my phone. But anyway, not everyone on social media is your friend. So when you say you want to do X, Y, and Z, they might be like, oh yeah, cheer you on, but then really they're just kind of hoping for your demise because that's what they want.
Your failure.
And I feel like no matter, like, even if you don't hear it up front, like, I really do feel like we're kind of in tune. Like, our psyche is kind of in tune to it. I don't know. I can't really explain it, but I just kind of feel like that. Yeah. It's kind of like the same thing. Okay, so it's like the same thing how I was telling you where I couldn't understand why a certain flight that's going through basic training right now sucks as opposed to its brother in flight. And then I realized it's because the instructors of the bad flight, or the flight that's not doing so well, is talking so much trash about them. And it's like whether that flight is cognizant or not about it,
I mean,
you can kind of tell that they don't care.
It might be a subconscious thing, like they might pick up on, or I mean, they might just
have a clue.
Consciously, like, pick up on the fact that, like, oh, they think we're fucking garbage. So
yeah.
It's like, why would you try if you think your instructors have given up on you and, like, they have, like, feel like there's no hope?
Like, complicit. Yeah, because...
Why would you want to put any effort and try?
Well, then I guess in that case, though, is that, like, I guess you can kind of tell people's energy towards you. So if this case with the goal, like, oh, yeah, they're at face value, they're saying, like, oh, yeah, I know you can do it or whatever, but then you can probably generally tell that who really is genuinely out there for you and who's not, who wants to
pretty easy to tell. Like.
Yeah. But I also, I mean, as far as accountability goes, I guess trusting someone. Like, I told you my goals for next year, and I don't really plan on telling a lot of other people besides maybe my supervisor, because they're the ones that's going to help me get there. But I don't think it's really necessary to tell everyone your goals. Maybe someone that you trust.
Yeah, I mean, what does it matter? Unless you're trying to impress people, like I don't really care to mention my goals.
Yeah.
In the Army.
I mean, it's your goal.
I didn't go and find my senior drill instructor who's done things in the Army and try to be like, hey, will you tell me about this? Like, he told me about things that I'm kind of interested in because he asked if I was interested in them.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah. And he kind of explained a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm not going to go out of my way to be like, hey, I'm interested in this thing. Can you tell me about it? Because, like, I want to sound like I'm fucking cool.
I think that's another thing too, is that people kind of use things for flattery, and it's not so much that they want that goal.
That's what I'm talking about. It's like they use it to be like, oh, I'm so smart because I'm trying to become a doctor or something.
Yeah.
Or it's like, oh, I'm trying out for special forces.
Right.
Because like I'm so tough. It's like, but they can't even do 10 push-ups.
Going back to the whole achievable, attainable. So obviously you want to make things that are achievable, attainable. And I feel like achievable, attainable within your realm. So I ran out of battery. LOL. And if I run out of battery again, I'm basically just gonna say, that's all, folks. The A in SMART is achievable and attainable. And I'm like, well, in this case, in your friend or the person that you know, who we were talking about earlier, their goal is to essentially be a life coach. But I feel like this is not really an achievable and attainable goal, because I feel like this is kind of a off a limb thing.
Yeah, what are the steps to get there? Like, it's just, oh, I just want to be this, I'm gonna just do it.
I think, okay,
like there's no progression to it.
In order for you to be a life coach, there are certifications. Like, I know on AMU they have classes and courses that you can take to become a certified life coach.
Yeah.
So that's one thing, where it's just like, okay, if they really wanted to do this thing, then they need to take courses instead of just reading books. But I guess, like, sure, I guess you can learn.
Start with reading books.
Right. But then I also feel like you have to be somewhat influential in order to
to
be
be
inspirational.
a legitimate life coach. Like, yeah, I mean, any of the ones that that would probably come to mind are people who have like they did something, they accomplished something fairly significant in their life, and then became a life coach. Some people just want to do it because they like to kind of help people, but they're almost more of like just a motivational like counselor or something. Like, they're not, I mean, I guess they have the label of life coach, but it's not quite the same.
I've thought about being a life coach because, like, well, my position in the military right now, and like later on, I do like mentoring people, and apparently like being a life coach is essentially being a mentor to other people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like I think most people think of life coach and they think of one of the people that are on like a TED Talk, or they're like standing in front of a huge crowd giving people life advice.
Okay.
But I mean, then there's like the more like everyday kind of life coach, which is more like a counselor or something, where you like speak to them one-on-one to kind of help figure your life out.
Yeah. But that's kind of like the whole thought process of becoming a life coach. And then if that's that person's goal to be that way, then it has to be an achievable or attainable dream. Which
it sounds like,
it's kind of debatable.
It sounds like, I don't know if what his end goal is, but I imagine it's probably the more grandiose version of that. And it doesn't seem like
he wants to be the one that's on TED Talk.
Yeah, there's no like, it doesn't seem like there's a game plan for any kind of progression to get there. It's more like, I just want to be that, and that's the end goal, and there's not like, don't really have a plan to go from there, from like here to there.
It sounds a little narcissistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean when I say like, there's people that want to talk about their goals, and they want to talk about it like, oh, I have a goal to be a doctor, I have a goal to do this or that. Mm-hmm. But they don't have a plan. And it's really just kind of a narcissistic thing where they just want to talk about it.
They want to talk about their ideas and their goals instead of actually doing things. That should just be a hobby of like, I just like talking about
some people
goals.
that is some people's hobby almost. Like,
it's just saying that they keep on setting up goals.
They never really accomplish any goals. They just always have goals.
They always have these great ideas.
Like, yeah, they've always got goals, but none of them ever actually come to fruition.
It's like throwing
or even
wet spaghetti.
Really like, I mean, at least for like my friend who says he wants to be a life coach now or whatever, or at least he like did go through the steps to become like a pilot.
Yeah.
And then, for whatever reason, decided that he didn't want to do that anymore. but it's like seems like a waste of time. But
I don't know.
if it's not what it's calling, I guess. But
It just doesn't
like,
seem like a real
I mean, some people just
though.
need to learn to, like, I guess, settle for a job. Like, you don't have an infinite amount of time. It's like...
Well, that actually goes to the R in SMART goals, relevance. I always thought about it as being relational. Like, is it relative to you or relevant to you, I guess, whatever. And then I'm kind of rushing it because I have a feeling that the camera's gonna die anyway. But the last one for T is time. Like, time sensitive. Like, in order for you to get a goal, it's probably a good idea to set like a time period of where you feel like you should achieve your goal, such as by the end of 2026 I want to be this many pounds or something like that, or weigh this much, or be fit. But even with that being said, I feel like even if you don't even make that timeline, at least you can see how far you've progressed. I don't know. And if we're also talking about like weight loss goals and stuff, I don't think that should really be a goal in and of itself, because if you're working out a lot with weight loss, sometimes...
Well, that's why I said small, obtainable goals, and then, like, with, like, getting a six-pack or something, like, I didn't say, like, oh, take pictures and, like, do, like, calipers of your body fat percentage, like, yeah, that's good and everything, but it's like, you should have goals that are just related to fitness that are
relevant to your goal.
In the end, like, they are helping you get to your goal, but it's like they're not a direct, like, directly related to your goal. Like, I mean, they are, but it's not. I mean, like, taking 10 seconds off your mile time is going to ultimately help you. And it's helping you get more fit, so it's going to help you get that six-pack or whatever, but it's something that's small and obtainable, because you can't, like looking at yourself in the mirror, like, one thing, like, things change with how much water you're retaining and everything else, so you can't have something that's so objective as, like, how you feel like you look, or how your abs look, or whatever, or your body fat percentage, which is not going to change much day by day or week by week.
Yeah. I mean, it could go week by week, but it'd be very, very
Still not
slow.
going to change.
It's not...
Much.
Even when it does, like, people are probably...
You don't have that same satisfaction of, like, oh, my body fat percentage dropped from 18.9 to 18.8 over a week and a half, or something. Like a 0.1 change, like, doesn't feel like very much. It's like, I know I worked all week to, like, run faster, and I ran 10-15 seconds faster this week on my mile run or something, or, like, I did a couple more push-ups, I did bench 5 or 10 more pounds. Like, you see the progress, and then it's like the next week it's a little bit more and more.
You know, I also thought about, as far as measuring out, like, the progress of your goals, it's also being realistic with how you're measuring it, and you're not killing yourself to get to where you are. So for, like, health and fitness is really, really easy to kind of talk about. Yeah.
It's a big one where you're gonna do more damage hurting yourself lifting with improper form, so you can look cool in the gym because you lifted a little more weight than the guy next to you.
Or, like, if someone wanted to be a YouTuber or a content creator or Instagram star, whatever, social media, and they don't really temper themselves, or they don't make realistic measurements, such as, like, oh, I got this far, I don't know, I post so much, got so much engagement. Like, you could end up burning out yourself, and then also injuring yourself or hurting yourself or leading yourself down a hole where now you're leading yourself to stagnation probably don't even want to do your goal anymore. And you're basically back at square one. Anyway, hopefully this helped out for making goals. Advice, you know. So, I don't know. You let us know.
Easier to just go Google those sort of things.
Yeah. Anyway, let us know.
Or don't.
Or don't, you know. Or not. I force him to do these things.